be shaman. To be shaman. If your spirit is strong, you could be the one.
Shaman fight tryout battles are bullcrap.
The witch battle.
Like the test to see if you're able to get into the shaman fight thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like not super applicable to what the actual fights are, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
kinda.
My thought more so is like Silva was like, if you can't deflect this attack, then I'm going to kill you. And Yo manages to beat him. And then he shows up where his comrade, where his coworker friend probably died.
Yeah.
And he's like, this kid shouldn't be allowed to enter because he killed this guy. And they're like, no, it shows that he's stupid good.
Yeah. Like, if you killed the exam proctor, then you probably, like, got some good skills to contribute.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the point they make. Is like, if he's this strong, then why would we deny him?
Yeah. There's straight up like, we're not trying to find the most moral person, we're just trying to find someone who's capable of this.
Yeah. But I thought it was funny that Silva got all upset about about the other exam guy getting killed when he himself tried to kill Yo.
Yeah. Like, I feel like he had, like, an implication, or, like, some, like, idea that, like, oh, yeah, I think Yo can do this, or whatever, but it's like, it's like, yeah, fair point. Yeah, like, I think the manga actually expands on it, but he's like, oh, no, but he was always, like, such a good friend, we'd go out and, like, drink together and stuff, and all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine and all, but he's awful hypocritical about the whole thing.
Oh, absolutely. Like, Silva's cool, but, like, never forget he was about to murder a child. He's not a great guy.
Yeah, I do want to say I would agree. Like, I agree with the idea that you shouldn't, like, maybe don't allow people to just murder the test examiners. Don't allow them to participate. But also, it's hard. I would maintain that belief only if Silva wasn't like, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. As to be fair, he did, like, give Yo a chance to back down and, like, warned him pretty adequately. But
Yeah,
it's
but, like,
using the
threat that he was
totem
gonna
pole
kill him still existed.
Yeah, using the totem pole cannon was complete overkill.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, yeah, it turns out there's like something like 10 exam proctors or something they mention at some point. At least in the manga, yeah. And they're like, oh yeah, Wallace is dead and all that stuff, and Silva's to kind of reconcile with this really quickly. And like, the Elder just shows up on like, their ancient oracle projector.
Magical projector screen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those weird, like, little jokes they're kind of, like, butchering. Because, like, Yo gets the Oracle Bell, and they make a big deal about how it's like, oh, it's basically just a pager, but for ghosts. Mm-hmm. And they get the, like, big Oracle projector that, like, shows them, like, these images for, like, across the world and stuff. And it's like, oh, it's just, like, a slide projector, but it's magical. It, like, cuts to, like, the Elder, and she's, like, watching this on her Oracle television. It's like, alright, yeah, it's just one of those little goofy, weird things they're just going for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that they just make a big deal on how the projector's, like, handmade, too. Like, that matters. But yeah. And she's like, oh yeah, the King of Spirits knows all, but he's not, like, a prophet.
Can't see the future.
yeah, he can't see the future, and that's why we have to have these shaman fights to begin with. So it's like, okay, yeah, fair limitation.
Yeah. So if he could see the future, then it's like, well, why don't they just go to who it is?
Yeah. If he could see a future, he'd just be like, oh, hey, yo, you're a main character. Yeah, it's that kid. Go get him. But yeah, so like, kind of deal with that. Sorry, were you gonna say something?
No, I just yawned.
Alright, you just made a weird noise, and I was like, oh, did I interrupt him somehow?
Nope.
But yeah. Also, I'm gonna, like, not have images for everything because I had to kind of rush it a bit. But yeah, I managed to hit this in.
I don't even have Twitch up.
Yeah. Oh boy. We finally got the shirt.
Oh yeah, the weed shirt. I saw
The
people
weed shirt.
Yeah, I saw people posting. It's like, oh, I'm glad they kept it.
Yeah. Cause I think there's like something like the 4Kids dub where they like got rid of it or something. Cause of
I'm
course.
sure.
Yeah, it's like apparently there's a thing later on where it's like, yo, just in case you don't know that it's a weed shirt, here's like another version that just straight up says hemp.
Hey, it seems very fitting for Yo's character.
It's extremely fitting. Oh man, but yeah, like, Yo just comes home and like, yo, Anna just starts railing on because she's like, oh, why is there like this long black hair on your clothes? You went out with a woman, yo? And he's like, no,
Yeah.
it's from a Native American man. And she's like, oh, you went out with Native Americans.
Well, no, Yo says, oh, that must be Silva's hair. And then she's like, oh, Silva, huh? Like, because it sounds like a feminine name.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a fun little gag.
Yeah.
Yeah. We quickly do learn, like, the rules of the shaman fight. So it's like, okay, so essentially it's like you have to win 2 out of 3 matches to get in, and you have to, like, win by making your opponent leave their oversoul state. So you have to basically find some way to, like, turn off their powers, essentially.
Yeah. So murdering your opponent isn't necessary, but it doesn't seem against the rules.
Yeah. Like, this is something I kind of, like, cut from the anime, because, like, you know, we get to the first match, and, like, Horo's, like, actually, like, yo, thinking over, like, okay, how am I actually gonna get him to, like, leave Oversoul state? And he's like, alright, maybe I'd make him, like, run out of energy or, like, yo, play defensive, but that's not really my thing. And he's like, yo, but hey, if I, like, knock him out or make him stop moving, then that'll also work. So it seems like the goal is basically like, you know, yeah, you basically want to like knock out your opponent in some way, and like you have to also just be careful to not use so much of your power that you run out first.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's just sort of like on a timer, and you just have to like, you know, fight Baron more efficiently than they do. So it's
I like when they're hanging out at the inn and Manta is talking to Yo about the shaman fight. Oh, crap.
Yeah, it's fine.
And they hear his name and it's like, what kind of name is Horo? And he's like, oh, he's probably Ainu.
Yeah.
Which is basically a Japanese native. As far as I understand it, the Ainu are
pretty much
native Japanese, kind of like Native Americans, you know.
Yeah, it's actually like a really interesting comparison because there's a lot of cultural similarity, you know.
Yeah. And like the image they have in their heads, like this big tough guy.
Yeah.
But turns out Horo is like this kid, snowboarder kid.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to learn more about that, like, there's plenty of history sources and stuff, but if you want to learn more about that in the form of anime, just watch Golden Kamuy, which is just a great show.
I this my source is unreliable because it's just I heard someone say, um, but I heard that the Ainu aren't typically treated well in media.
Yeah, not super well.
So it seems this seems pretty respectful here, and they there's like a long thing where Horo talks about their culture and
Yeah.
how they live off the land and all this stuff, and it seems very respectful. I don't know if it actually is, but it seems nice.
Yeah, like, it's... This... Like, I don't think the hour, like, especially, like, tribal or whatever you saw it, like, right now,
Yeah,
Like, I don't know for sure, but I think they have, like, modernized quite a bit since then. But it's like, yeah, still, like, this seems, like, fair enough, yeah.
yeah,
Because, like, I know though the Golden Kamuy is it takes place, like, back in the day, like, I forget the exact time period, but it's like, like, in the past, like, a fair bit ago. And it's, like, all about, like, learn about their culture and, like, their beliefs and stuff. And it's like, this kind of, like, side note on the story of, like, trying to find this great treasure and stuff like that. And yeah,
yeah.
you get all kinds of fun little insights, like, they go into depth into, like, the types of, like, games their, like, kids play, and, like, how, like, the Ainu will, like, just raise bears and then, like, kill them for meat and stuff, and just, all kinds of interesting little things like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, you heard me. These people raise bears. It's awesome.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty great. It's a lot of meat.
Yeah. But yeah, so like they go to the location, and this is another one of those things they always skips over because like I feel like this episode doesn't really skip much that's like of value or anything, but they do quickly skim over like them kind of taking in the town and being like, oh yeah, this is the famous like 9-0 building or whatever, and it's like, yeah, this place used to be like a prison. It's really intimidating, isn't it?
Hmm. It sounds like they're sacrificing world building for just more battles.
Yeah, which is kind of a shame because, like, the whole world tour aspect of this show is part of the fun, right?
Yeah, I did want to say like the show's pretty good so far, but I understand like aside from the Netflix jail thing, like
Yeah.
I can see why I'm not seeing a lot of people talk about it all that much.
Yeah, like, it's very straightforward battle shonen, right?
Yeah, and that's fine because My Hero Academia does that. It's like, oh, it's battle shonen.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, My Hero actually does it really, really well, and doesn't and will have like an episode without fighting just to build character.
Yeah, like, that's the thing, because this, like, manga count, like, right at the big, like, battle shonen kind of, like, boom of, like, the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Like, this was in, like, the thick of it, as, like, Naruto and all that stuff was coming out.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
like
like,
the original manga writers like part of this, right?
um,
I would imagine.
yeah, like, I don't know if the manga writer is, like, actually on, like, for the new adaptation, but, like, he definitely gave them permission.
Mm. Because if he was directly involved with it, he could have written like a more fleshed out show. But
Yeah,
yeah, I won't try to judge it too harshly considering
yeah.
when it originally aired. It's just uh, was printed, I guess.
Yeah, I will say
Uh,
there was like a reprint where it's like, I probably mentioned this before. In fact, I'm like pretty sure I did at some point, but it's like the original series went to a point and then it just kind of stopped because they got burnt out on it.
yeah,
And like, years and years later, they like came back to the series and like, essentially like finished the last half of it and like did a bunch of redraws and stuff. So they had a chance to like change things if they wanted, But I feel like, if there's gonna be any, like, larger, like, storytelling elements or whatever, it's gonna be a bit later on,
Yeah. Okay, now I know what I was thinking of, because I was watching I was watching a podcast these other people do, and they're talking about Invincible, and it's like I wasn't getting these two things mixed up. I was just thinking maybe the original
Yeah.
mangaka was working with them. But and this other podcast is about Invincible, and they were talking about how the original comic writer is actually involved with the show.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and like there's like the whole first episode is something that wasn't in the comic, and it like builds upon characters and stuff.
Yeah. I feel like that's
So
definitely, like, way more of a Western animation thing, right?
yeah,
Because with manga, it's like, like, the Shaman King, like, spin-off manga or sequel or whatever is, like, still ongoing as far as I'm aware. So it's like, he kind of, like, he probably couldn't really involve himself too much with this, because he's got, like, his actual, like, like, work to, like, deal with, right?
right.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, it'd just be nice.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Hey, buddy.
It'd be really interesting to see, like, something like that, where, like, a manga creator just, like, comes back for the anime, and they just, look through, and they're like, okay, yeah, this is the stuff I really like, and this is the stuff I want to change, and, you can just, like, see that contrast or whatever, right?
Yeah. Hey, what if they did another Soul Eater anime and the mangaka was there to be like, no, do it right though?
Yeah, do it right, though. I'll say that's one thing. Like, if nothing else, they have changed the most problematic character in the series.
In Shaman King?
Yes.
Who's that?
So I feel like I probably mentioned this before at some point, and like we hadn't seen them yet. Later on, there is a character called Choco Love, and he is an African shaman,
Okay.
as portrayed by a '90s old Japanese man.
Okay. I can imagine what this character looks like.
Yeah, like just take the basic image of what you think this is going to be, and it's basically that.
Okay.
It's like big nosed, like, kid with like just the biggest lips and the fullest afro.
Shaman King, Chocolove.
Yeah. And like they definitely changed his design to be way less
Yep.
that.
Yep, that's a stereotype.
Yup. But yeah, at least that's something. Because, like, holy crap, I can't imagine them, like, doing that as it was originally intended. And it's like, no offense, it's like the career or whatever, like, it was just sort of like, a different time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't do much to make him look better in the anime, it looks like. The
Yeah.
original, I assume.
Yeah, not in the original, like, 4Kids. And this one, it's like, as far as I'm aware, they've, like, downplayed the lips by, like, a lot. So it, like, genuinely helps.
Let's see. Well, yeah, that looks better.
Yeah, that looks fine enough.
I think this is like a picture from a manga panel or something, but
Yeah.
yeah, it looks like he's definitely. Yeah, he still is. He's still got a big nose.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
but
not going away.
I mean, that's a lot of characters in anime have goofy noses. That's
Yeah.
fine. And the important thing is that the lips aren't like stupid exaggerated.
Yeah. Like, as long as you don't have octopus mouth, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so... where were we?
They just, Yo and friends just met, Horo.
Right, yeah, they finally meet Horo.
And his guardian spirit is something called a Korpuker.
Yeah.
Which is it's just a little person, and they
you
have little leaf umbrellas.
Yeah, it's basically a little fairy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little nature fairy.
So I was kind of familiar with this thing already because they're a persona/demon in the Persona games.
Ah, that's neat.
Yeah, you could get a Corpuscle, and it's like a little old man with a leaf.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. And she's adorable.
Yeah.
Kororo's adorable.
Yeah. Like, this does make, like, an interesting point where it's like, yo, it does quickly establish that it's like, we kind of knew this from last time, but it's like, yeah, no, we're not just fine with ghosts. It can be, like, any spirit.
Yeah, and apparently Corpuscles are on the level of Sylva's, like, spirit guardians.
Yeah. They go specifically have their way of mention that it's like, nah, this is, like, a stronger spirit than Midamaru, like, straight up.
Yeah, it should be. It's still determined by the actual shaman's skill, though.
Like, it's still determined by skill, but it's like, it's a stronger spirit, but at the same time, it's like Yo has the stronger medium because his sword has, like, all the spiritual energy and stuff in it.
Yeah, he goes on about the steel where it's like, oh yeah, so many people have used this sword in the past that all of their spirit energy has, like, been absorbed into it.
Yeah, which makes sense, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, we finally get Yo's battle outfit.
Right.
Yeah.
He takes off, like, his tracksuit and he's like, oh, it looks like my dorky training outfit. And then Anna gets really mad. She's like, why, you don't like my handmade outfit? And they all of a sudden change their tune. It's like, whoa, it's handmade? Wow. And it looks great.
Yeah. So I want to mention, it's like, there's something that the anime have, like, cut out here, which is that, like, you actually do see a bit of, like, yo, the, like, what are they called? The, like, committee or whatever, like, you know, the, like, fight attendants or what they're called.
The masked guys.
Yeah, Silva's group. You actually see, like, you know, a bit of them, like, you know, actually helping to keep the fight a secret. Because there's, like, a guy who just sees these kids about to throw down, and they're like, oh man, that kid's got a sword, I should do something. And, like, you know, the guy who, like, you know, let Horo pass just, like, shows up and knocks him out, and he's like, nah, yo, you'll just think this is a dream.
Yeah, that's good. I was kind of wondering, because, spoilers, Horo does a really big attack, and it, like, lights up the sky, and I'm just like, okay, how do they hide this from regular people? And the answer is that they've got the little committee goes around and makes people think it's a dream or whatever.
Yeah, they just sort of, like, knock people out and presumably, like, repair the damage and stuff. Yeah, there's another quick thing they mentioned, like, near the end that was also cut, where they, like, you know, quickly bring up that, like, the reason Silva's just out selling trinkets on the street is because, like, you know, the tribe has, like, exhausted its funding by, like, you know, getting all these different kids, like, plane tickets to Japan. So they have to, like, you know, just sell whatever they can to, like, you know, make ends meet now.
I see.
Yeah, not sure how people really feel about that being, like, justified or whatever, but it's like, yeah, there you go.
I feel like the participants should probably have to find their own way to the battle site, but hey.
Yeah. I mean, it is nice that the tribe's giving them, like, transportation and stuff. Because, like, you know, if someone got disqualified because they couldn't buy a train ticket, that'd kind of suck. But yeah, so, like, Yo fights Horo, and, like, yeah, Yo kinda just whips him.
Yeah, Horo does a bunch of different attacks, and Yo kind of blocks, like, all of it with the big samurai arm guard thing on his weapon.
Yeah, because Horo's like, you know, he's putting his spirit into the snowboard so it can do ice attacks because it's a snowboard.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'm gonna use the fury of nature and stuff, and Yo's just like, nah, you're not.
Yeah. Also, there's this whole thing where Horo is like, I can't lose this because I have a dream. Then Yo won't fight him seriously until he tells him what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really dumb.
And he's like, okay, I want to plant a field of, I think they're called butterleaf.
Yeah, butterbur flowers or whatever, butterbur
It.
leaves.
Butterbur leaves, that's it.
Yeah.
The leaves that the Corpicers carry around.
Yeah.
And it seems like a really nothing dream. And Yo and Manta are like, what? That's it, really? And then he's super serious about it. He's like, no, the Corpicer population is under threat of extinction because their fields are being destroyed.
Yeah, there's a real environmentalist vibe to this series so far.
Yeah, which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah. There's a lot of talk about nature and trying to find harmony in nature and how we've kind of strayed from the path and become corrupt and we're overtaking the natural world and stuff.
Even Ren was like, oh, the stars are blocked out by all the bullcrap.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this stupid car, I'm gonna kick it and then kill its driver.
Yeah. Ren still sucks. Still don't like him, but hey.
Yeah, Horo's approach is way more sensible.
Yeah, he's like, I want to win the shaman fight and plant a very, very large field of butterbur plants.
Yeah.
Butterbur leaves.
Essentially make a little, park area or whatever, where it's it's oh yeah, we just need to have, something for these spirits to live in.
Yeah. There's a dumb little moment where Yo is just like, okay, that's super sad. I'll let you in. You could be the Shaman King.
Yeah. Yeah, then Anne's just no, but you have to win says you want to live an easy life, right? And Yo's like, oh, right, yeah. Alright, I guess I'll just do your dream too then.
Yeah, and I kind of had a feeling, whenever Horo mentioned he's got a dream or whatever, and I'm just like, oh well, Yo's gonna learn it and he's got to win or whatever. I bet he's gonna be like, oh, I'll fulfill your wishes too or whatever.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that's where it went.
Yeah, gotta be that good shonen pro tag.
Yeah, that's not a problem with it. It doesn't seem unreasonable either. If you gain a massive amount of spiritual energy, then why not?
Yeah, why not?
Use it to plant a large field.
Yeah. It's nice because, after his fight, it lets them just be friends with each other, because Horo's like, oh, hey, I just have to not lose again. I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've still got shot.
Yeah, Horo still has a chance, because he's only lost one round. And yeah, they're just, after Yo beats him, because Horo does this huge avalanche attack. And he's like, okay, I'll just bury you under all of my energy, and this will just defeat you in one move. And it doesn't, and he runs out of energy, and Yo doesn't.
Yeah. Because Yo's actually, conserving his strength and, fighting smart, while Horo's using, magic all over the place.
Yeah. But, yeah, after the fight, they're just hanging out at the inn, because the Horo is a cool guy.
Yeah.
And he's in the opening credits with the main characters, which is something I didn't notice before.
Oh yeah.
So I went back and looked at it and was like, oh yeah, there he is.
Yep, along with a bunch of other spoilers.
If I haven't been paying attention. Like I said, I didn't even notice Horo until I went back and looked.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing. So, how do you feel about Horo's weird snowboard fighting style?
When he first appeared and, I saw him, jump off the building with the snowboard, it's like, oh, it's Killia.
Yeah.
Killua, not Killia. Killia's a Disgaea character. Yeah, I was like, oh, it's Killua.
Yeah, alright. Yeah, it's kind of cool that he's making ice with the board so he can move it around and stuff, but it also feels a bit limiting.
Yeah, he's definitely side character material.
Yeah, not quite the rival, but definitely the Krillin, right?
Yeah, Ren will be the Vegeta.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And what's his Ryu is
The
I don't know.
eh.
I don't know, would that be an insult to Ryu?
And I feel like honestly that feels about right for him.
Oof, yikes.
Just like I'm sure he's gonna get better and have his moments, but he's mostly more comic relief than anything else.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Oh, because Manta should be the comic relief.
Yeah. We have a second Yamcha.
Also, there is a funny moment where, like, Horohoro's like, "What? Wait, you have a Corpker too?" And he's like referring to Manta because he's so tiny. And I'm like, they're jabbing at the fact that his design is awful.
Yeah, yeah, they know.
And then like Kororo, his little Corpker companion is like blushing and is like, "Oh, she likes him."
Yeah, oh, that's nice. Yeah, they're like,
she's super cute.
Yeah.
Ryu also thinks so.
Yeah.
But he gets called a pervert for thinking she's cute.
Yeah, Ryu's... Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird.
I like the Ryu's little, like, pompadour that's, like, still cut off just forms a little heart.
Yeah. I don't know, I kind of like it as a goofy design choice.
Yeah.
Because I think I saw pictures of him from the manga and it's not as pronounced. So it might not even have been intended, but it seems like they've intentionally made it look more like a heart.
Yeah. Oh man, got some of that Josuke energy to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually a bit they like cut from the manga here where like, like Ryu's gang is just sort of like, talk out what they'd do if they all became the Shaman King.
Oh man.
And they're just like, yeah, I want to know what happened to the dinosaurs and what really happened, Man, it's just a bunch of like dumb stuff like that.
For a second, Ryu's motivation to get stronger so he can have a cute spirit.
He says that, but this dude's totally gonna end up with Tokagero. There's like no question about it.
Oh, definitely. It's like, oh, that's side character ghost right there.
Yeah. Got your weird bandit Yamcha ghost who plays dirty, and you have to like, make friends with him.
Yeah.
Oh man. I hope that comes into play, that like Takagero's just like a scummy, dirty fighter. Like, I feel like that'd be like a fun thing for a match. But yeah, and we sort of end off with like, the like exam proctors or more of like the Patch Tribe just sitting around, and they're like, oh hey, like, you should really pull Yo out of the shaman fights, because, like, next battle, like,
This dude's gonna kill him.
Yeah, Yo's gonna fucking die. 100%, like, absolutely.
But Yo will be fine.
Yeah. Man, it's kind of weird, because, like, I was looking through a manga, like, this image, like, doesn't quite look the same as it does there, but does look way more like what Faust actually looks like, which is interesting.
Bloodborne.
Yeah, straight up.
This guy, like, I can't really see it very well, but it looks like he's got a trick weapon.
Yeah. He's basically holding, like, a giant cross with, like, an axe blade on it.
Yeah, that's a Bloodborne weapon.
Yeah. Dude just standing in the graveyard with his big crazy Bloodborne axe ready to hack up a middle schooler. Man, I'm so excited for the next episode.
He's still over the shop.
Oh, man.
He's Father Gascoigne.
Like, maybe I'm overselling this way too much, but, like, I remember liking the heck out of Faust. He's just so cool.
He has a cool silhouette.
Yeah, he looks like a cool Reaper dude. Oh, man. So any guesses as to, like, what he does?
Well, I said it last time. I'm guessing he, judging by his name, he's gonna, like, have demons or something.
Yeah. Oh, man. So yeah, like, any thoughts on this episode, I guess, before we sort of, like, end off?
I kind of brought it up earlier. It's like, it's fine. I liked it. It's a good episode.
Yeah.
It's just, my thoughts on the series as a whole is just kind of, I do wish that you're telling me they're cutting out all these world building moments, and I kind of wish they
Yeah.
would keep them, even if
Yeah.
it means that we have to cut. Even if it means that, like, it takes a little longer to get to the action, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
like, it sucks, right? Because it's like, like, if they actually, like, slowed things down, then this would be like, like, well, like, 2 episodes of fight or whatever or something. Like, they're doing a good job of, like, containing these encounters into, like, 1 episode each, which is, like...
Which is fine.
Yeah, like, if the manga didn't exist, and this was just, like, my only experience with Shaman King, and this just, like, came on in, like, the 90s or whatever, then, like, this would be good, But it's, like, in, like, a modern context, while, like, the manga's just out there and, like, accessible and stuff, it becomes a bit more rocky, I think. Just because they are, like, kind of these, like, smaller details, and it's, like, so much, like, competition that's, like, directly learned from what it is and stuff, right? Because, like, earlier you mentioned, like, My Hero Academia, and that's, like, absolutely the type of show and series where it's, like, it's learned from what came before, and it's kind of, like, managed to, like, work around it and make something new and, like, interesting.
Yeah, like I said, it's not really fair to compare this to that, because it's, like,
Yeah.
it had the chance to learn from everything.
Yeah, this is like right in the vein of like Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna get a new like, couple chapters, and they're gonna like find a new guided duel, and you're just kind of gonna like wipe your hands from that and move on a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's kind of refreshing to see, I think.
Yeah,
'Cause,
I'm not
like,
opposed to just getting battle shonen just straight up.
yeah. Just straight up going for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be so interesting when this finally drops on Netflix and we can finally just, like, see the larger discourse as, like, a new audience finds it and stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna be, like, the big thing, right?
See how people react to it once it's easily available.
Yeah, because I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of people who is sort of, like, get a few episodes in, and they're just like, oh, every episode's the same, and they just leave it behind. But, like, I'm also sure it's gonna be, like, a lot of people who look at this and they become, like, new fans, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, I think there ultimately, like, is a lot to like about this. It's just, like, it's very of its time. So, yeah, unless we have anything else to say, I guess I'll see you guys around next time.
Later.
Later.